Mate, how the bloody hell do you get so good at talking on stage?
My mother said I could talk underwater with stones in my mouth, so I guess so. Getting good at talking is about doing it. When uncomfortable becomes comfortable over time, through experience. So the first time I stood up on stage and spoke, I was shaking like a shitting dog, and now I stand here having done that maybe 500-600 times, and like anything, it just becomes normal. So I always think that people are never here to impress me or be impressed by me. So my job is not to impress, it's just to express the purpose of whatever the day may be.
Yeah. There's a lot of, there was a saying called fake it till you make it. Now, I think we're seeing those people that have faked it,
Yes.
not making it now.
Yes.
Testament to yourself.
Thank you.
There's no fake about you.
I appreciate that.
Not one little bit.
Thank you.
Has there been a time though when you've felt like you were
For sure.
faking it?
110%. I started my first business at 14 years of age, and up until I was probably a 23-year-old, probably for the first 9 years, I was faking it. I didn't know anything, but I was too egotistical to admit that. I was so shit scared of failure, or at least other people having perceived me to have failed, that I would often hide my mistakes as opposed to asking for someone to give me guidance and advice on how I could overcome them in the future. I was very much about perception. It didn't matter how well I was doing as long as people thought I was doing well. And then at about somewhere between sort of 23 and 24, maybe about 5 years ago, I actually fell in love with me. Now that probably sounds the most egotistical thing.
You fell in love with me.
I did, me media. But I really started to like myself. And I really thought, geez, you're a good guy. You're built on really solid morals and ethics. And when you like who you are and you love what you're doing, all of a sudden there's no need to cheat or lie. You know, you can just admit the reality of a situation. And do you know what? The smaller I was in business and the more I admitted that, the more people helped me. The more people go, okay, let me see how I can get him a referral. Let me see how I can leverage him and get him a leg up. But when all you say is, no, I'm the best, I'm killing it, people don't feel the need to help you. So I have faked it, absolutely, and it's probably only been about the last 4 or 5 years that I've really become comfortable in my own skin and ultimately just proud of the position that I'm in.
Top marks, mate. What about those days when you're down?
Yes.
When you're not on, you don't feel like you're on your game. Maybe it's straight out of bed or you've just got some news.
For sure.
And you got to front up.
For sure.
What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a little bit bipolar by nature. I'm a Gemini as well, and I live 90% of the time on the ceiling and 10% of the time on the floor. And when I hit the floor, I tend to hit it pretty hard, you know. So, how do I deal with it? I use 2 methods. One is actually where I use a sensory modelling technique. So what I do is I actually have 4 or 5 sensory triggers, a specific aftershave that I never spray, except in the moment when I'm trying to trick my brain back into an elite performance thinking. The way that I condition this is for 60 times in a row, 60 successes. That could be a 5-star online review, it could be a sale, it could be a new acquisition of a staff member, something of that nature. I would cause sensory overload. So I did mine with Paco Rabanne 1 million. I never wear that aftershave. The only time I wear it is at the point of success. Licorice, or previously spearmint, but now licorice. I have a victory song. My victory song's Florence and the Machine, You Got the Love. And every single time I had a success, I immediately jacked those senses. So whenever I've had a bit of a shitty morning, or I've had a rough start to a day, or I've had a bit of a challenge that's presented itself, I actually hit those senses, and my mind only associates that with elite performance. So it immediately tricks me into a different state. And that's one way that I deal with it. The other way is to actually give it form and verbalise it. We become really good as entrepreneurs at internalising our challenges. For me, I don't enjoy that. When I internalise, it just grows and it manifests inside me until it has to come out. So instead, I actually like to give the problem a character. I give it a name, I give it a shape, I give it a size, I give it an ethnicity. I ask it why it's chosen me. I understand what it's trying to teach me.
Out loud?
Usually on a whiteboard.
Right.
Depends on. I've got an amazing business partner. I've got a gentleman by the name of Ryan Tuckwood. He's like a brother to me. I wouldn't change my business partner for the world, so I can turn to him as well and open up to him. He doesn't have to answer me. He just has to sit and listen. But sometimes a wife, a husband, a brother, sister, maybe someone who has no bias to you. You don't even really know them. You might have played 1 or 2 games of tennis or golf with them in the past, but I tend to find that I don't need someone else's input. I just need a soundboard, and for me that can be as simple as a whiteboard.
Sensational, mate. And well done to ISR Training.
Thank you.
For joining the Livin'.
Yes,
.org,
yeah, absolutely. Something we know you're
supporters.
very passionate about.
Mate,
Yeah, absolutely.
mental health, big on.
Yes.
Similar to you, have
Yeah.
some tricks that I
For sure.
undertake, and I think there's some great tips that you just gave the audience.
Thank you.
That's a wrap. Gold Coast Business Week 2019. It's been a blast. Check out all the interviews that we've done this week. Just search the hashtag GCBW19 or jump on a Me Media channel. We're across all the socials.
Amazing.
That's Jack Corbett from
Thank you.
ISR Training. Sign him up for training. It's freaking
You
excellent.
won't regret it.
Cheers,
Thank you
mate.
very much.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, Chris. Thank you.